Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrea from Andy's Corner. And I really hope that you're enjoying all these videos that I'm uploading for you guys. I know that when I read these stories, I love reading them to you because I love these stories. So I hope that you stay tuned for our videos coming up and that you enjoy yourself. Okay, so today our story is about a stallion. What is a stallion? It's a horse, but it's a stinky one. So let's dig in. This story comes from the Bible Animal Storybook written by Mac Thomas. Solomon's Smelly Stallion. King Solomon, the world's richest and wisest ruler, owned 12,000 horses. 12,000! Can you imagine? Each one cost 150 pieces of silver. Wow, that's a lot of silver. They were splendid looking horses, all except one. This one horse was a gray stallion with fine muscles and legs, but he didn't look fine or smell fine, for he wouldn't let the stable boys wash him. Stinky. He was dirty, dirty, dirty. So he never got to be in a parade or pull a chariot or carry a prince. Nobody liked to be around him except the horseflies. Everyone called him the Smelly Stallion. I don't care what you call me, he said. I don't want to be clean. But really, he did want to be clean. He just wasn't ready yet. One morning, everyone in Jerusalem was talking about exciting news. The great Queen of Sheba, the world's richest queen, was coming to Jerusalem to see for herself how rich and wise King Solomon was. She was to arrive that very afternoon, and she was bringing gifts for Solomon, more jewels and pieces of gold that most people could count, and more spices and sweet perfumes than most people in Jerusalem had ever seen. Can you imagine receiving all those gifts of jewels and spices? That's amazing. That morning, everyone in Jerusalem took a bath. They wanted to look and smell their best for the queen. The stable boys cleaned all the horses, except the smelly stallion. I don't care to see the queen, he said. I'd rather stay dirty and smelly. He just wasn't ready to be clean. See, there he is with the flies all around him. I wonder why he wasn't ready. In the afternoon, King Solomon came out to meet the queen. He had carts loaded with good food for the queen and her servants to eat. And he brought his finest horses to show her. He also brought the smelly stallion, though no one knew why. The horseflies came too. See, look, way in the back, those tiny little flies. That's hilarious. The Queen of Sheba saw the carts of food and the fine horses. Behind King Solomon, she saw his splendid royal city. I see you are very rich, the queen remarked. I've also been told you're very wise, and I have a few questions for you. What does a wise ruler do, she said, if she catches a servant stealing gold from the treasury? Solomon said, a wise ruler ties a heavy bag of gold to the man's hands and makes him carry it everywhere till he's so tired he promises never to steal again. Then the wise ruler tells him one of my proverbs. How much better to get wisdom than gold? The queen smiled. "And what does a wise ruler do," she said, "if her son is very sick and very sad?" Solomon answered, "A wise ruler brings in clowns who can dance and prance and frolic and rollick, and who can tell the ailing boy every joke in the kingdom. For I've written in another proverb that says, 'A cheerful heart is good medicine.'" The queen smiled once more. Just then she caught a sight of the smelly stallion with his halo of horseflies, and she began to smell him. She wrinkled her nose, she crinkled her mouth, and she twinkled her eye. She said to Solomon, "And what, may I ask, does a wise ruler do with a horse that smells rotten and rancid and reeky and rank?" And Solomon answered, "When a visitor comes bringing gifts of spices and sweet perfumes, the wise ruler makes that animal carry all those fragrant gifts to the palace storehouse, one load after another, until the horses smell spicy and sweet." And that's just what Solomon did. It took the stallion half a day to carry it all, and with each load he smelled spicier and sweeter. When he finished, he smelled so spicy and so sweet that it made his eyes water and his nose itch and his ears droop. Now he was really ready to be washed. So he let the stable boys clean him, and he liked it so much, he decided from now on to let them wash him whenever they wanted. Later, when King Solomon said goodbye to Queen Sheba, he quoted one more proverb: "Perfume and spices bring joy to the heart, like the pleasure of a friend's good advice." And if you want to read the real story of Queen Sheba coming to visit, you can read 1 Kings chapter 10 and all these proverbs that he quoted, Proverbs 16:16, 17:22, and 27:9. The end. And look, now he's clean and shiny and smelling great. Sometimes we make choices, and that's actually called sin when they're bad choices. And sometimes this makes us smell and stinky. Now, not physically, but maybe spiritually. Our hearts become smelly and stinky from all the sin that is in them. And sometimes we're just not ready to be cleaned. But God is a wise ruler, and God desires for our heart to be clean. So, whenever you're ready, you can go to God and say, "God, clean my heart. Purify me from my sin." And guess what? He will. And it feels so good that you don't want to sin again. Now, we still do sometimes because we just can't help it. But it's better to quickly go to God every time we sin and ask for his forgiveness and ask him to clean our hearts every day. And this will help us to be close to God and for us to feel nice and clean. No more smelly stallion. All right? Have a good day. Bye.